Hello and welcome to this episode of the Worship Band Builder podcast, where we are working with you to lay the foundations for skillful worship. I'm Eric Roberts, and I'm joined by my co-host, Emily Roberts.
Hello.
The ever hilarious comedian. Yeah, that's what she thinks. Comedian all day and night. I couldn't even get this episode started because she's cracking jokes the whole time. All right, but we're talking today. We're going to tell you the topic in a minute. Before we do that, let's talk about the digital.
Well, before we do that is not entirely true. There were all kinds of interruptions, and it had nothing to do with me making jokes.
She was watching Netflix all morning, and I couldn't get her to get in here and get the podcast going.
No.
Well, if you want the digital guitar pass, then you can get it right now, and it's really important because you're probably stuck at home.
Oh, why does that make it important?
Because you don't want to sit at home and watch Netflix for the next, month. You could do the digital guitar pass.
You could catch up on all your binge watching. You've probably already done that.
I've been watching a lot of Netflix, and
one of our friends put out a plea on Facebook the other day saying, please, I've watched everything there is to watch. Give me more suggestions.
Oh, I don't think so. I could give her some suggestions. I won't do it on the podcast, though, because I don't want people to get offended by my suggestions. But anyway, you could. I would suggest that you get the digital guitar pass. And actually, the new guitar passes or the new digital passes for individuals are like drums, bass, guitar. We have one for all of those instruments.
So you don't have to pick guitar.
Right. Just go online, worshipbandbuilder.com or worshiptheking.com, and click on digital guitar passes or digital. I keep saying guitar passes, whatever. Click on digital passes because then you can,
Digital passes. And really, what else do you have to do right now?
I don't know.
The problem, I think, with learning an instrument is always that you're too busy. Everything comes ahead of, man, I really wish I could learn to play guitar. Maybe someday. I really want to play the bass or the drums or the piano or whatever. But we always have all this other stuff to do. Well, for a few more weeks here, while we don't have so much else to do, it would be ideal.
Yeah. Well, we're in Tennessee, and our governor, we're talking today about, the title today is Gearing Up to Go Back to Church After COVID-19. So we're going to talk about that. Our governor is being really one of the more conservative governors. He's letting us go back to society May 1st, but there's going to be like this rollout. So 14 days of this, and then phase 2 and phase 3, and every state's going to be a little different. But in our state, we were one of the last ones to be locked down, and we're going to be one of the first ones to be unlocked.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord for that. So Ohio, where our other hometown is, and all of our friends, they're really locked down, and they're
locked down tight.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they won't even let anybody. They want to put masks on people and do all this stuff, and that's fine. I've got a whole nother political channel for that. This is not about politics.
Save that for later.
I'll save that for my other project. But, at least when you're in lockdown, you can play the guitar and you can learn an instrument, drums, whatever, because we are going to go back to church some point, hopefully.
Someday.
So what will it be like? This is some of the questions I have for today's conversation will be, what will it be like your first Sunday back? And we'll talk about maybe our first Sunday back
Well, I hope that it is a joyous occasion. I hope that everybody just comes back and we smile and we shake hands and we give hugs, and it's just a day to celebrate being together.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty optimistic. That's like pie in the sky.
Well, call me a cockeyed optimist.
Yeah. You could hug everybody, and then they'll say sit down, no hugging. I wonder if
who's they?
I don't know who they would be. Anybody who's crazy about non-hugging.
Non-hugging.
But
my Uncle Ron.
Yeah, Uncle Ron will be like, sit down, no hugging. This is this is interesting because some people are like me, are really not interested in locking down and wearing masks and doing all the social distancing. I don't like it. And, I've been
does anybody like it? I mean...
Maybe.
Well, some of us introverts, maybe it's kind of not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have... There are some great things that have come from COVID lockdown and, just different things I've seen. And one of them is we have a lot of more free time.
Yeah.
And people I've seen a lot of dads at the parks and a lot of
Yeah.
families at the parks, a lot of walking.
That's
Kids,
special.
yeah, kids probably love this lockdown.
I've seen dogs going for walks with their owners lately that probably haven't seen the light of day in 5 years.
Dogs or owners?
Take your pick. I
Right.
I see people going up and down the street, and I'm like, hey, I didn't even know we had these neighbors and these dogs in our neighborhood.
Well, that's true.
I don't think they're all new here, but they're all new to the walking.
I know. I think it's funny because in the beginning of this, I would see all our neighbors walking in their pajamas, like full families, like 5 people in their pajamas just taking a walk. I mean, it's like they just walked
That is
out.
a weird thing about this sheltering in place is that it really deflates your ambition to put on clothes.
Yeah. I know. I've been wearing a hat for like 2 weeks. I know if you guys have been watching the podcast, you'll notice my hat came on, and then I've just been on. It's like, but I had a bad haircut, so that's.
Yeah, you got to grow out the bad haircut. That's another good thing about COVID is nobody's watching you grow out your bad haircut.
Yeah, I was wondering today. I tried to do my hair today. I was like, I got to see if and it still didn't look great. So I'm going to keep the hat on, and I'm just going to keep it on. And so I'm in pajamas, my hat, just walking
Hey,
around
but you
the
did
house.
put on a shirt with buttons today.
I put on a shirt
Thank
with
you
buttons.
for that.
And
That is nice.
Yeah, this is great. I'm still wearing shorts though. So when we go back on Sunday, like I was talking to our pastor and our team, and I'm not sure exactly what they were doing, but a couple weeks ago they were like, oh, well, we'll probably be phasing back because they'll be like, and he was right, because now that I see it coming, it's a phased return. So he was talking about different ways of coming back and like having multiple services with less people. And we're a smaller church, so we can get away with that. But I was talking to a church girl who's a church of 800. There's no way they can come back in groups of 50. They would be having like 14 services or 20 services.
True, but they should have a bigger building where they could spread people out more, right?
Yeah, and I think that some of these new comeback methods are capacity related. So 50% capacity. So if your building holds 800,
Right.
then or 1,000, then you could technically maybe have a group of 500. So even in our church, our capacity is probably 200, 300. So maybe we'll only have to have 2 services. I don't know. So what it's going to be like, it will be weird because everybody's been acting really strange. Like they won't get near you. Mm-hmm. They're wearing these masks. They all look like it's just strange. So hopefully it'll be normal. But when I go in people's houses and to work on their pianos or to whatever while I'm working, they're normal, and they're like, we don't get it. We're ready to get out of the house. So people are probably going to want to go back. The last good thing about the lockdown is the traffic. I mean, like I love this traffic. This is it's almost like Ohio traffic in Nashville.
Yeah, you're starting to get spoiled, aren't you?
Yeah, because I can go anywhere, anytime. And so maybe everybody else should just stay home.
I used to think Cincinnati was bad before we moved here, and now Cincinnati makes me laugh. This is nothing.
It's nothing like that. So, okay, what will it be like? We know it's going to be probably some different kind of things, and we're doing this online thing. When should you go back to church? When should you go? When are you going to go back?
As soon as humanly possible.
Okay. She's on it. She's ready to go back. And I think I am too. Ready to pretty much just as soon as they open church, I'll probably go back.
I'm sure that there are some people who will be more cautious. If you're more susceptible to illness for whatever reason, you're probably going to be a little more careful. But it sounds like, at least in the Tennessee phase back into, what do you call that? Interacting.
Real life, I don't know.
Yeah.
American freedom.
American freedom.
That's what I call it.
So
we got our freedom back in a couple of weeks
it
here.
sounds to me like church may not come still for several weeks, right?
Yeah, you're right, because it said that entertainment venues were closed until like phase 3. So
Yeah.
that could be June.
I don't know.
So it could be another 4 weeks.
I'm
really.
just not clear if church falls under the heading of entertainment venue.
Yeah.
Are they just referring to places where larger groups of people meet when they say
think so.
entertainment venue.
And technically, to be real technical, churches actually aren't even involved in the shutdown. I don't think that some of the state governors tried to like arrest pastors or do some weird willy-nilly stuff. But technically they almost rolled every one of those back to, we can't stop you from having church. So I think that the churches are going to have to, take the responsibility to do their own thing. Because I don't think that the government is going to. The churches weren't listed on that paper, and they probably weren't listed on purpose because they're not technically in most states, even by constitution, locked down.
Yeah, I wish I knew who to ask.
Well, Walmart's not
find
locked
that
down.
out.
I mean, essential services. So go back to church when you want to. I mean, you're only going to go back as soon as your pastors and deacons let you go.
Go back today and you might be disappointed.
Yeah, go back when you want to, when they say you want to. But if you're older, or if if you're feeling anything, if you've had cancer or if you've had any immune problems, then I would personally be waiting, because most of these churches are now on to the live stream, so you can do that.
Well,
I think that some people aren't going back to church.
Maybe we could count that as another positive for the shelter in place, is that churches that initially were not doing their services online have started doing that and offering that to people who were sheltering in place before sheltering in place was a thing. We do have people in every congregation that just can't make it to church every Sunday.
Yeah, we didn't have a live stream until now, and now we have a pretty good one, and it's gotten better. It's evolved. It was, it was like the first week it was Pastor just on his iPhone, I think, and on his computer, and then now we're doing a full band with all the mix. We're doing a live mix. This week I'm playing with my friend Adam's church, which I need to practice.
Where is he?
He's up in Michigan.
Michigan? That's what I was thinking.
I don't know, Adam. I don't know where you went. He's somewhere. But anyway, I'm going to play. I got to get the electric guitars down. I haven't even practiced yet, so I'm in trouble.
Michigan might have been the last move.
Yeah, I think he's in, I don't know. He might be in Florida.
We'll figure it out. But it's really cool that you can actually do that.
Yeah, so we're gonna play. I'm gonna play the guitar. So there's been some cool stuff to happen, and you should go back when you're ready. I would say I would have never shut down church, but then again, I probably would have just been cautious. But I'm 42, healthy, very low probability of getting any COVID by all the statistics. So, but I wouldn't tell your grandmother to go to church right now. All right, let's move on. Why is social distancing awkward? And how are you going to overcome it with your friends? Because I have a feeling that when we get back together, there's still people that feel like there's this 6-foot social distancing. And depending on what state you're in, I mean, some of them are like, yes, for 18 months, we're going to wear masks and stuff. And so I think it's all awkward.
It is. It's very awkward. And it's a little bit random because I'm not sure why 6 feet was the chosen number. Because I think if I stand 6 feet from you and I sneeze or cough, I mean, what's stopping it? Is there a line at 6 feet where all the germs just drop?
I can sneeze like 20 feet into the air.
But it has caused us, this social distancing has caused us to feel somewhat uncomfortable around other people. We're starting to look at other people as hazards or dangers rather than as human beings. And I don't know how easy it's going to be to just drop that when it comes time to start interacting socially again.
Yeah. I'm just not sure when I meet with people. I was at worship practice the other day. I wasn't sure like who believes in this, who's really into social distancing, and then who like wants a hug, and everybody's kind of acting weird. And it's already awkward, in social settings when you're in a mixed group of family and friends and church people. You're just not sure, you're not sure like who am I going to hug and who's going to shake my hand and who's going to. Now
well,
it's
that
like
is true. That's kind of a question when you first meet people, like you find out pretty quick. Oh, they're a hugger. Good, I'm a hugger too. Yeah, or oh no, they.
Yeah, don't do that.
They don't even shake hands.
Maybe I should just get a T-shirt that says I'm a hugger.
Yes.
That's the shirt that we need to have. Augie had one like that, right?
He
said,
did
I'm a
when
hugger.
he was little. Or actually, he still had it until He might still have it. He was wearing it even just a couple months ago. It had an octopus on it. It said, I'm a hugger.
Octopus. Well, I'm gonna make some shirts. I've made some shirts. I'm gonna make I'm a hugger, and I'm gonna make some other funny ones to go along with the COVID crisis. Yeah, and all right. So why is it awkward? I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to. I feel like, for me at least, I've been pretty vocal about my beliefs on the COVID thing and the lockdown and the American freedom. I think as I've met people in person, I've just been telling them, I don't believe in social distancing, or and they're like, oh yeah, neither do I. Like, let's just not be weird about this. Or if they're like, well, yeah, but I'm a little nervous, then you're like, okay, I get it. So I think it's going to have to be somewhat a social, I don't know, it's like a politeness or a social conversation. Like, some people are just going to come out and say, I'm not wearing a mask and I don't care. I don't believe in this. I'm okay. Other people are going to wear masks and they're going to feel awkward. They're going to feel nervous, and we got to let those people, let them have their moment of just, let them be if they want to be that way.
We just need to be understanding.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Not like they're wrong. I'm just saying let them be. Because if you want to wear a mask, I have nothing against any of that. I just don't personally won't wear one right now. I mean, if everybody was hacking and coughing at church, I would probably wear one. I've been in a lot of situations at my other work
where you've wished you had a mask.
Yeah,
right?
And I have these really good masks that I use for work sometimes. So sometimes I put them on just because I get nervous around.
You
cats.
don't do that.
Not
what are you talking about?
Not
Show
in public.
up at church with
No, not in public, but like when I'm working in pianos and I go into a house, if it kind of smells like cats or something, I put mask on for like allergies, or if I mow the grass sometimes.
Yes, right.
So I understand if you want to wear a mask, that's fine.
You're cool with it.
Just don't wear one around me. I'm just kidding. I'll probably just, because I like to be a button pusher, I'll probably just make fun of people that wear masks.
Oh, yes,
then,
do that, because
I'll help them overcome their fears.
That's very grown up.
Maybe like we could come up and like grab their mask and pull it and let it go.
Oh, and snap it?
Snap it off, yeah.
No.
All right, so last thing is on this whole thing, reach out to your friends and let them know you're there for them. I mean, we've had to do a little bit of that. We've had to do a little bit of reaching out, talking, texting, just because one thing I've noticed, and we're going to talk about this in our podcast next week, is how we've missed church. But I've noticed a lot of isolation, and everybody's going through it. And
it's strange what it does to your mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does sort of like, even though you have your phone, you can always call anybody, you can FaceTime, you can send letters, you can even go to someone's house and stand 6 feet from them if you want to, but we don't. We have this weird shelter in place kind of brain fog that we're not reaching out to each other maybe like we should right now.
Yeah, Zooms are getting kind of,
Especially for our single friends and our older friends and family. This is hard on the grandmas and grandpas that are almost imprisoned in their residences because it's not safe for them to go out now. We really need to make those extra phone calls, put the cards in the mail, whatever you can do.
Yeah, because we can't even visit our grandmother in her assisted living. I mean, she lives in Ohio, but
it's not assisted living, but
it's like a
senior community.
Senior community, right? Yeah, it's not. I guess they have different levels, but hers is just basically an apartment complex for older. Okay, so even that, we're not even allowed to go in there, and she's supposedly not allowed to leave.
She can leave. She can leave, but she's not allowed to visit with her neighbors right now.
Which is weird, and maybe good, because that's sort of the population that is vulnerable to any COVID that might actually be around, if there is any in that area. So, all right, that's it for today. Just remember, we do have the digital pass. If you're sitting at home going, man, I don't know what to do. I've watched enough Netflix. Get on there, Worship Band Builder, Worship the King, and check out one of the individual digital passes. And if you like this episode, which was so very enlightening, just make
indeed.
Sure. Yes, it was the best.
Words of wisdom.
Words of
pearls.
Wisdom. Just share it, like it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and let us know what you want us to talk about next time. We'll see you later.